Sorry. So morning everyone. I hope you are too excited towards AI section today, artificial intelligence. So today what we'll try to see is the drastic changes that we have seen in artificial intelligence. I'll try to take you through the entire session where exactly we are trying to head towards and what are the different things or the changes that we are trying to see. And being a pandemic time, also most of people are worried about getting jobs. We'll also try to cover those how exactly we are trying to see the demand or the supply that we are trying to get through AI, and are there the same demand exists in AI jobs or not? And also, most of people are worried about automation coming in. So most of people might think that we might lose some jobs because of AI. So we'll try to cover all those different questions as well right after the webinar. So today, the holistically we'll try to cover entirely about artificial intelligence. So what we are trying to see in AI, and also I'll try to give you a gist on what exactly we are trying to do in the current scenario. So we'll try to go ahead. So AI generally, basically, we are trying to just uh, call it as mimicking humans. So what exactly we are trying to do? How exactly humans are behavior? How exactly humans behave, or how exactly we think? And the intelligence, whatever human intelligence we are trying to see, we are trying to develop the same intelligence to the machines as well. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to mimic human intelligence to mimic machines. That is what entirely we are trying to do in terms of AI, right? So whenever we are trying to talk about humans, it's just a natural intelligence, and whenever we are trying to just mimic the same thing in machines, we are trying to call it as artificial intelligence. And we are trying to make sure machines will think in terms of humans. That is what we are trying to head towards. So right from you might have seen in day-to-day lives how AI has been useful currently. So right from unlocking your phone, right from asking Google where exactly you are trying to head towards whenever you are trying to move from one place to another. Also asking Google, asking that, okay Google, tell me what is the weather today. A lot of these things are trying to come up. So day-to-day lives, we are trying to see our scenarios are changing in terms of technology, right? So even now, if I'm trying to say, okay, Google, and go ahead, even my mobile is trying to prompt me saying that what do you want, right? So there are a lot of technologies that we are trying to see in terms of AI, and in our daily life, also we are trying to see a lot of changes happening. So some of the examples we'll try to see. And in AI, when we talk about AI, it's a very broad concept. Most of people will try to think that AI is just about knowing certain things. So we'll also try to see what all different data we have under AI first. So in let's say whenever we know for sure the data is fuel today, right? So data is fuel today in AI. We are trying to use that AI and we are trying to get n number of insights from the data today, right? So from different types of data that we have, right now I'm trying to speak. So speech is one of the data that we have. I'm trying to see all of you, right? So vision is one of the data, or in terms of if I'm trying to just capture image or a video, so that is also one of the data, right? And data can also be extracted in terms of Excel format that whatever you are trying to see in. There are a number of different formats of data in the same way. Even whatever the document that you might be reading, even that is also a data. In that is in terms of text. So you might know for sure. Right now, most of people uses WhatsApp, correct? If I am trying to know what is the most frequent terms that you are trying to use, I can extract from the data and I can find it out, right? And I can also find it out to what extent, what is the frequency of positivity you are trying to speak, or negativity, or the sentiment analysis I can extract from that. So whatever we have today is we have computer vision to solve most of image and video analysis. We have reinforcement learning. So reinforcement learning is more about you have a gaming agent. Let's say you are trying to play yourself with a chess. You are trying to play chess yourself with a computer, right? you would know how computer is trying to tackle you with different levels of difficulties, a medium level, initial level, and a hard level, right? So it tries to learn the environment and it tries to act upon quickly and reinforcement learning. That is what is happening in reinforcement learning completely. We have image analytics, which is completely similar to computer vision. We have natural language processing. Even I'm trying to speak now, and today, if I want to know, the same speech can be given by anybody else, saying that you have my face, but I can give the speech of anybody else. I can do that using NLP processing. So, natural language processing helps us to play with a number of speeches and a number of text as well. And we have deep learning. So, deep learning is main concept in AI. So a lot of these things that come under whatever we are trying to study now, the core concept is deep learning. We have one more main aspect of AI as machine learning. So most of which machine learning is just the predominant part of AI, is just a subset we are trying to call it as. So we have fewer initial algorithms. We try to call it as majorly into algorithms. We have machine learning. We have robotics as a part of AI, and also we have speech synthesis also as a part of AI. So whenever you are trying to cover in terms of AI, it's completely the entire subset forms an artificial intelligence. So if someone is trying to talk about any of these terms or technical terms, all these are related to artificial intelligence. So let's go ahead to know some of the applications that we are trying to use with respect to whatever terminologies that we have talked about, right? So whenever you are trying to see with terms of terminologies that you are trying to talk about, it's more about personal assistance. We have just talked now. If I'm trying to say, okay, Google, my mobile is trying to prompt me saying that what you are trying to ask me, right? So personal assistants like Siri or Home, Alexa, and all of these, Google Home, that is what we are trying to use now. And right now, the way I am trying to use Alexa and Siri is a different format right now. Also from the Windows, when we are trying to talk about, is just that Cortana. We are trying to say, hi Cortana, this is what I'm trying to do. So it will try to recognize our voice and it will try to assist us if we are trying to get things in a faster way, right? And a lot of different technologies that are coming under AI. I'm trying to just discuss the main technologies that we have seen so far currently, and that has already been done. So whatever applications that I'm trying to show you over here, all this has been developed and it's all been running. So there are AI lawyers where machine is trying to just cross question the entire the opponent, and it's anywhere we are trying to see in its way with the accuracy, whatever it tries to debate on with the other lawyer, it's much better than 90% accurate. So that is what we are trying to see in with respect to AI. So in law system, when you are trying to take, there are a lakh number of rules that we have to apply to tackle a particular scenario, right? In terms of those, AI acts upon different rules and regulations and try to see that what is the best can be done. And AI doctors we have been seeing surgeries being done by machines using the intelligence of doctors, and which is much more accurate than normal doctors or the humans, which we are talking about. Also, you might have seen a lot of automation cars. Right now, we are trying to use Ola, Uber in India. You can see certain after 5 years, most of these cars becomes driverless. Because now we are trying to see in USA, be it Germany, be it Japan, Switzerland, all these countries are trying to use most of driverless autonomous vehicles. So all these are developed, and the main owner of this is what we are trying to see in terms of Tesla cars, right? You are trying to see majorly driverless cars, wherein you can staying at the office, you can just navigate your car sitting from there. You can just say that you are trying to access your car from your office, from wherein the car comes right through from your home to your office. So directly you can just do all of these things without driving in. So you have AI investors as well. That is one of the thing called Numer AI. You have also facial recognition and analysis. Now I'm trying to talk to you. So my camera is able to tell me if I'm trying to just develop a sense of intelligence to my camera is able to tell me you are Venkat. So it is able to recognize me. And the same thing you are trying to see in your mobile as well. Right now, most of people are not trying to unlock their phones using the pattern password. You are trying to just unlock your phone by recognizing your face through the camera, right? And also, you might have seen some of the mobiles that they have. They can recognize the scene through the camera. You can just try to take a photo of a scenery. It will try to tell you what exact scenery that belongs to, whether it's a building, whether it's a nature, whether it's animal, whether it's a vehicle. All of this is possible today, right? So a lot of different applications that we are trying to use, wherein we are trying to just uh, make machines think like humans. That is what we are trying to do in terms of lot of applications. Even there are n number of applications in day-to-day scenario when we are trying to talk about. So whenever we are trying to see use of AI and trying to transform a number of industries, this is just a recent survey that we had done, wherein we have collected different companies or startups, wherein they are coming up with different they are trying to solve different kind of problems in terms of different cyber security, robotics, computer vision, business intelligence and analytics, text generations, IoT, finance, commerce, and lot of these things. You can just see over here all different companies that you have under different segments over here. And a lot of these companies is just trying to take only the top 100 companies. If you are trying to talk about startups from just 2 years, if you are trying to say the number is in millions, there are a million number of startups which are trying to use AI in different segments altogether. So this just a example of where exactly we are trying to see how startups being evolved using AI technologies right now. And if you are trying to see where applications of AI is not limited at all, it's it's very broad wherein you can apply any AI anywhere. So here, if I'm trying to see AI, you can just use in any sector you want. You can use in banking sector, transport sector, retail, gaming, media, entertainment, workplace, online shopping. So in online shopping is one of the few things that you might have seen. So you might have been purchasing a number of things through online, correct? So what are different changes that you might have seen through online? So whenever you are trying to read a customer review, you can check in Amazon. Whenever you are trying to read a customer review, let's say I want to buy a phone, right? So let's say any phone if you are trying to talk about either Apple, let's say in terms of Android, we are trying to talk in terms of OnePlus phone. So be it any phone that we are trying to talk about, let's say you want to purchase a phone, and let's say there are around 10,000 reviews that you are trying to see. So it is very difficult for us to read all those 10,000 reviews altogether and come to a conclusion that whether I can purchase this or not. So what Amazon is trying to do right now, it is making our task very easy in a way such that it is trying to do is so it is trying to just give us a tag. So what all the from entire reviews, I'm trying to just summarize in terms of tags. So most of the things, what all the different tags that you have when you are trying to talk about mobile, it might be some people might be talking about processor, some people might be talking about display, some people might be also be talking about camera, some people might be also be concerned about what is the GPU you are trying to use, what is the chip you are trying to use, RAM space, memory, and all of these things. Most of people in 10,000 reviews, you might be talking about these things, right? So in the same way, whenever we are trying to talk about these things, the main highlighted tag, what is the most frequent words people are trying to use, will be highlighted. If you try to click on camera, if some person try to take mobile only based on camera, they'll try to read the reviews only particular to camera itself. So a lot of these, one of those examples like that, you can just talk in any industry that we are trying to see now. AI is applicable anywhere. You can see in terms of the defense. Right now, in defense as well, we are trying to make sure we are using drones technologies for which makes sure will help these soldiers to identify is there any person that is coming through or passing towards the borders. So we are also trying to do that also. And smart homes, I've already told you we have a number of personal assistants and we are trying to use based on that, right? And we have cyber security in insurance, aerospace, sports, a lot of these things. Also, you can see AI in sports as well. A lot of different technologies are coming upon in sports as well, where AI is being used in a major context. So you can see that there are a lot of videos available. You can just go through that and you can just see how technologies we are trying to change in terms of different aspects that we are trying to discuss right now. So usage of AI is not limited any day. And some of the companies, if you are trying to see, wherein with most of AI patents. So whenever we are trying to talk in terms of patents, is when people are trying to research more and more in terms of technology, right? So we can just get more of patents whenever you discover any new thing, right? So the major companies which are trying to hold most of AI patents are the main thing is Microsoft. There are a number of research being happening under them, and they are trying to just convert it into patents. Whatever the new technology that they solve or discover, they are trying to just own their patent. So Microsoft is trying to just be a major player in that. And followingly, you can have see IBM, Samsung, Qualcomm, Google, Philips, Siemens, Sony, and the list goes on. So I'm trying to just display you top companies that you have right now for which holds AI patents in a broader way. So all of these companies, when they start researching many things under AI, you can get to know how much more there's a demand in the entire world, wherein you can solve a number of problems using AI, right? Whenever you are trying to discover new things, you should understand one thing that there are a number of problems that we are trying to face, and all of these things can be handled by using artificial intelligence, right? So we have a lot of different companies altogether, and majorly it's just top 10 companies that I have just displayed over here. You can just go through this. And the companies that we are trying to see in 10 years, I've told you a lot of changes that has happened from 10 years, right? If you are trying to see applications per year, and from 2008 to 2018, if you are trying to see. So in 2008, the AI related patent was just 22,000. Now in 10 years, if you are trying to see over here, it's 78,000. So you can just imagine how many number of different problems that we are trying to solve to using AI technology, right? So there are a lot of different technologies that, or a lot of different problems that we are trying to solve through AI, right? And most of the people might be asking, whenever we are trying to develop a lot of these different technologies or different devices using AI, also some people might have a notion that AI might take our jobs or not, right? So right from I'm trying to display the just uh, the diagram wherein towards market revenue, whatever we are trying to just collect in terms of AI. So if we are trying to see in the entire scenario from 2018 to 2025, we are trying to see the projection isn't completely a linear trend, right? The projection is in completely linear trend, and this is the amount of revenue that we are trying to use. So this is all in terms in billions. So now, right now, if we are trying to see for next 5 years, 126 billion US dollars is what we are trying to clock in with respect to the revenue that we are trying to see in terms of AI. Just that using AI, what is the market revenue that we are trying to clock in, right? So if you are trying to see in the entire data over here, the n number of companies are coming in. We are trying to just solve in n number of different problems here, and we are trying to just hold n number of patents and a lot of problems we are trying to solve through AI, and from which we are trying to also make sure when we are trying to solve a number of problems, it's not that we are not trying to involve humans in that, right? So we are trying to involve a lot of humans and in terms of solving different problems, and the entire problem cannot be solved only through machines. So there is some help needed from humans as well. That is where we are trying to see in some of the reputable jobs. Yes, I know, understand. Some of the repeatable jobs, the whatever we are trying to see in, are replaced by machines, correct? And to some extent, whenever we are trying to see a multitasking effect, so a lot of AI that we are trying to see in for a particular specific task. Let's say I have to just see something. So that is one particular task. And let's say I have to just see something, do some certain kind of task, and also try to answer a number of questions. So there are multitask involved in that. So certain things in AI, when we are trying to talk about, it's only related to a particular single problem. So there is no generic solution that is available right now, but it's on the research. We might see AGI, that is artificial general intelligence, in next 5 years or so, right? But matching to human intelligence is not that easy. None of the machines I can tell you has the power of human being, right? So human beings are completely, whenever we are trying to talk about our brain, consists of million or trillion number of neurons being interconnected altogether. And the same trillion neuron, if I have to set up to a machine, I'll try to take at least 100 years to set up that kind of environment to a machine. So you can think of humans are completely intelligent compared to machines altogether. So there are a lot of debates that goes on saying that machines are more intelligent than humans. It's never ever. Humans are more intelligent than machines. Just that we are trying to make sure certain task is being completed by machines altogether, right? So going ahead, whenever we are trying to see a drastic number of market revenue being obtained by AI technologies, we are also trying to see the increase in number of jobs that are available is in the same trend, right? A number of problems we are trying to use through AI, and from which we are trying to solve a number of problems from this, and we are trying to take a number of revenues from the same, and from which jobs being noticed or jobs being opening of jobs being for every year goes in a linear trend. So if I'm trying to just talk about job analysis, you can just see over here there are around 2 million AI automation and robotic jobs will be created by early to 2030. And also you can just see new created positions, of which only 19% of jobs are lost to robotics. And if you are trying to worry what kind of jobs we are trying to just lose towards robotics, I've also given you a small display over here. So in terms of percentage wise, the risk of automation and certain number of factors of which job might be in risk at favor extent. You can see here different types of jobs that are completely on the risk parameter. Let's say cooking and the service is one of the major category that we are trying to see. So how does we see robotics being cooking? You might have seen a number of videos as well in terms of AI. So whenever we are trying to talk about cooking, so I think most probably whenever we are trying to see the increase in the demand comes when the supply. I know for sure whenever there has to be a number of orders. Let's say you have 100 orders altogether, and out of 100 orders, what you'll be trying to do is you'll be trying to just get all those orders and cook all those orders in a particular way. So what we'll be trying to do is the machine starts cooking all the orders in a faster pace, but at some point in time, to at least monitor these orders, whatever we are trying to have, and supply is also being done by robots itself completely. You can see in one of the uh, areas in China wherein the entire restaurant is monitored by machines, right? And certain number of jobs, yes, they are trying to loosen, but you can see it's just only the 19% of these positions can only be lost to robotics. The rest of the positions, let's say around 80%, is being created by AI automation and robotic jobs. So you can just say that you don't have to make sure you will be trying to lose jobs due to AI. Nothing there, never there, ever it will happen like that, because you know for sure humans are much more intelligent than machines. So only certain repeatable tasks might get replaced by AI, but certainly most of the jobs that we are trying to see in, it needs human intervention all the time, right? And in this entire risk of automation scenario with respect to different farming, fishing, transportation, construction, sales, healthcare, all of this you can see to a certain person we are trying to see in automation coming in, right? And whenever we are trying to see the potential for emerging technologies, so whenever we are trying to see what is the best technology that we have right now today, it's artificial intelligence. So going further, we have Internet of Things, wherein also in Internet of Things, we are trying to collect a lot of data from the devices. And how are we taking insights from AI itself, right? And we have 5G technology coming in, serverless computing, edge computing, 3D printing, quantum computing, robotics, RPA, that is robotic process automation, biometrics, virtual reality, AR and VR, self-driving. A lot of these drones, a lot of these things are coming right now, correct? So in any technology that we are trying to see in, and AI is most beneficial, and AI is the first all potential emerging technology that we are trying to talk about currently, right? So going further, what are different job roles that you can just see under AI? There are more than 100 job roles altogether you can talk about. But only the best job roles in AI I'm trying to talk about today. It's completely AI developer. I've been worked as an AI developer, started my career as a statistician. Then I just started also as a senior AI developer, from which right now I'm trying to work as an SME, subject matter expert in artificial intelligence. So right now you can see you have AI developer, you have AI architect, you have machine learning engineer, data analyst, data scientist. These are the trending jobs that you are trying to see now in terms of AI right now. Wherein all of these jobs, whenever you are trying to talk about, each of them has a different role to play altogether. So some jobs, some people might only learn or love programming completely from the scratch. So be it anything, they love programming. Those people might take up being an AI developer or AI architect. So some people might know saying that they might love jobs of programming, but also they might be having internal skills saying that I do love on different tools altogether. So different programmings and different tools allow different programs, interconnecting different pipelines. All of these comes under as an architect, wherein there are certain amount of management you have to do, certain amount of operations you have to handle, and certain number of different pipelines you have to develop. So for all of those things, you can just go ahead with going further with minimal experience. You can become an AI architect as well. And machine learning engineer, it's very basic, the starting job or entry to an AI that we are trying to see with machine learning. Data analyst is also one of those jobs wherein you are trying to take a number of insights from the data. You have to collect data, you have to pre-process the data, you have to clean the data, then you have to manage data storage, and then you have to just process the data and take a number of insights from the same. This is all being done by data analyst. So also when I'm trying to talk about data scientist, it's the same. So data scientist does end to role job. He collects the data, he processes the data, and he gets the insight from the data. He models the data. From there, he builds a number of models on the data. Then it does validate or test how my model is trying to work, whether it's a 90% accurate or 99% accurate. Then it will try to also deploy the data, deploy the model altogether. So from right from collecting the data until deployment, we'll handle all the rules that are coming in, right? So we'll also try to move ahead. So most of people might also ask me saying that what is the salary analytics that we are trying to expect in terms of AI, right? So salary part when it comes, it differs with respect to job position you are trying to see in, or also it differs in different companies. Also, it depends on locations. It depends on what is your experience, whether you are a fresher uh, uh, or how much experience you are trying to have in a particular field. Whether even in AI, let's say a person has 10 years of experience, he might be new to AI. So, what is the experience that he has got, right? All of these things counts a lot. But now, right now, when we are trying to see any salary trend in analytics professional or in AI, when we are trying to see in terms of INR, I'm trying to just project all these things 1 lakh, 2 lakh, up to 20 lakh. The most demanding sector that we are trying to see in is telecom. And the next demanding is retail, and it goes ahead energy or manufacturing, automotive, media, entertainment, e-commerce, banking, travel, or hospitality. Most of these people are trying to just offer in the major way because we have a lot of data being behind, and all those from which we are trying to just get insights using artificial intelligence today, right? So we seeing that you might also ask me what is the percentage of salary I might get. Let's say I have 2 years of experience, and you might have be asking what is the salary I might also get. So the numbers are just subjective over here. You can even earn more than this or less than this. It all depends on what is the knowledge you are trying to hold, which company you are trying to opt in, whichever location you are trying to work in. Also, it depends on what is the stream that you are trying to select in. Either you can just choose to be in under computer vision, you can choose under being in NLP or being in just machine learning or be a data scientist. It also depends on the role that you are trying to tackle in, right? So there are a lot of factors when it comes to under the salary thing. Also, some of the trend that you will be trying to see in from initial years up to 12 years, whatever we are trying to see the trend, right? So from beginning, from experienced guy, from fresher, when we are trying to talk about from 0 to 3 years, the minimum salary that we'll be trying to clock in will be somewhere around 5 lakhs altogether, right? And it's also trying to show me a trend. What is the trend that we are trying to see in from 2016 to 2019, right? And the same trend is I'm trying to just follow as you can see that there is an increasing trend all over. Anywhere for the fresher right now, one of my students just called me and told me that I just got in a company. And initial salary I'm trying to get 7.5 lakhs. So I'm trying to wonder, and he was under the AI itself. One of the technologies under AI was computer vision project he was into, and he was trying to get 7.5 lakhs as a fresher. And whenever it comes to bigger companies like Microsoft, Google, and all, it's double the digits I'm trying to talk about. So as an average, when we are trying to talk about in any of these technologies that we are trying to see. But in terms of AI, we are trying to see in a better number of salaries that we are trying to pitch in terms of artificial intelligence. So for anywhere from 0 to 3 years, it's around 5 lakhs. Anywhere from 4 to 6 years, it's around 7.5 lakhs. It's anywhere from 7 to 9 years, it's around 12 to 14 lakhs. And anywhere from 10 to 12 years, it's 20 lakhs around, and 12 plus years it's more than 25 lakhs. So that is the trend that we are trying to see in. And it's not all these numbers are subjective again. So it is just a survey that we are trying to do it, and anyhow all these figures are average numbers we are trying to see. There are a number of exception spaces wherein we are trying to see in uh, the 4 years of experience in AI. He is trying to be a senior AI developer and he is trying to earn more than 25 lakhs altogether. So there are a number of these things also come in. So exceptional figures are ahead. So we are trying to just capture the uh, average part of the entire scenario we are trying to see in, right? And exactly how exactly we are trying to just handle the students as well. We know for sure for any student that we are trying to talk in about under our iNurture. In iNurture, we have around 38 colleges under iNurture. And in iNurture, how exactly we are trying to make sure to engage the students. So right now, a student might come in front of you trying to say that I need a job. So what is the skill that you have? Is what we'll try to ask everyone, right? So in terms of whatever skill that you are trying to have, you should hone skills in a different way altogether. So handling skills, you might get it through the content what we provide. From a number of industrial workshops, so you might get some insights. Yeah, attending international conference, you might get some insights. Attending a number of competitions or hackathons, you might get some insights. And attending different industrial webinars, also you can get some insights. So all this all depends on different aspects of whatever you are trying to learn. Correct. So also once you have learned something, you have to also showcase the same thing, right? So in terms of showcasing, also we have different projects altogether. What are different projects? How many projects you are trying to develop in your entire career of AI, and publishing a number of research papers, developing a number of proof of concepts. And recently, for one of our uh, students, just first year in BSc, they have won national hackathon, and they are trying to go ahead with whatever the proof of concept that they have shown. They won a national hackathon recently, and this has happened. The results got announced last week, and we are very happy in terms of AI. Whatever the students are trying to go ahead with, so they are trying to attend a number of competitions, hackathons, international conferences, industry workshops. They are developing a number of projects. They are also developing a number of industry projects with a number of sectors, be it telecom, be it banking, be it finance, and also they are trying to own a number of industrial certifications, and also will try to get a resume template web portfolio, and also student profile. The entire thing, whatever you'll be trying to learn in, we'll try to just train the students how to make their portfolio as well. And also the alumni support, entire thing. So most of these things, whenever you have time to have these things, you will try to have a proof what all things you have done to that from the entire journey, right? So from the entire journey, if we are trying to talk about of all this, you will get to know what all different things that you'll be trying to do, right? So with this, I'm trying to just end my session on this. So we'll also try to know what all different questions we have for today, right? So we have a lot of discussed about AI. We have also discussed about technologies under AI, applications under AI, and we also seen AI being used in day-to-day life scenarios as well. Also, we have talked about whether AI takes our job or not. Now, also we have told you about how exactly we are trying to engage the students under iNurture as well. So we'll try to take some questions on the same, and I'll try to just end the session over here. So I'll try to take some questions on the same. Future on, we'll try to also see what are different questions we have. Based on that, I'll also try to give you some insights on same towards AI as well. Let's try to take some questions. So Mr. Bright is trying to ask me, will the AI field be as important as it is now after 5 years? Yes, absolutely yes. So as a trend, I have showed you from 2020 to 2025, right? The trend is a linear trend that we are trying to see right now, correct? So there's a linear trend. Even whatever the AI field, whatever we are trying to see in, it will be much more important in 5 years and even in 10 years as well. So there are some technologies, even apart from which AI, you have IoT, you have big data, you have cyber security. All of these are coming in, but the major technology that we are trying to see in is towards AI itself. So AI is also, whatever the importance that we are trying to see now, the importance will be much more double than whatever we have right now. So it will be much more important even in 5 years. So Adya is also trying to ask me, do I need to have definite soft skills for a successful career in AI? Yes, Adya, for sure. So for certain soft skills, see soft skills when you are trying to talk about, it's more about communication, handling different problems, understanding your the technical knowledge you will be trying to hone under iNurture whenever we are trying to see them. But soft skills in the sense, communication is one of the main part in successful career. But soft skills is not only irrespective of whichever technology that you are trying to see in, soft skills is majorly needed. But to an extent, whatever we are trying to see in is, you need programming skills, you need mathematical skills, you need certain amount of understanding the business, and also you need certain amount of critical thinking. So wherein when we are talk about critical thinking, the main aspects comes in terms of how exactly we are trying to understand the problem and how we can tackle it. So there we can just see soft skills also is being used as a major uh, skill that we are trying to see in. Okay, I hope I have answered your question. Next. So Jyotika is trying to ask me what will be my responsibility if I join an AI firm. I told you whenever we are trying to talk about artificial intelligence, there are hundred or thousand number of skills and roles that have been handled. So right from you are trying to say from data collection until your deployment, there are n number of job roles that are available. You can be a data analyst. Let's say you are trying to um, have a skill more on programming aspect and also on mathematics. Your understanding concept of mathematics and programming is very high. You can join as an AI developer. Whether let's say you are trying to have more on multi-level skills on you, let's say more on, you love more on mathematics, but you understand more on programming, and let's say you can understand different tools altogether. Handling different tools is more important as well. Then you can choose either being a data scientist or data analyst as well. Or let's, some people will try to tell me I like getting insights from the data. So also I like some visualization. So those people can act as a data analyst as well. So there are a number of responsibilities and roles under AI. Uh, you can just go through some of the responsibility as well. And some of these skills, whenever you try to learn or like more about programming, doing programming, and like more about understanding math and certain amount of critical thinking, then AI will be your main stream of liking in terms of technological sense. So you can go ahead with these things. So Jyotika again is trying to ask me, how is robotics different from AI, right? So there are a lot of these questions come to me saying that, sir, robotics is AI. So not at all, definitely not at all. So see, robotics is part of a machine intervention that we are trying to see in. So whatever embedding that we are trying to do from AI, uh, as software we are trying to see in, we are trying to deploy it towards a mission, right? So let's say a drone is coming over and trying to ask me, what can I do for you? Let's say a machine is trying to come and ask me, what can I do for you? The intelligence running behind it is nothing but AI, but the entire architecture of the developing that robot is mainly comes in IoT, so Internet of Things. Also, it comes in more on mechanical part of robotics as well. And why do we need AI? What are its benefits? We just saw what is AI. We just saw what is the importance of AI as well, and benefits of AI. And benefits of AI is not limited at all. It's more on limitless we are trying to see in. So in entire day-to-day life, we are trying to see how AI is being important in our day-to-day lives as well. So solving a number of problems that we are trying to see in. Even in the current scenario, in the pandemic scenario we are trying to see in, we have a lot of developments being from AI. And AI, using AI, we are trying to solve a lot of these problems altogether. And also, you will be trying to see in, we are trying to use AI doctors, we are trying to use AI researchers for developing a number of medicines. We are trying to uh, use AI for curbing these or handling different patients altogether. And a lot of benefits we have to AI. And Nina Soni is trying to ask me, is it true that AI would replace human employees one day? To be considered dangerous? Not at all. So when I say that there is a lot of demand coming in, lot of problems we are trying to see in from AI, we are trying to see, and yes, the replacement might happen to a certain extent to a repeatable jobs altogether, but not completely. Not completely. There are a number of jobs being developed through AI. So the trend is being the same. There are a lot of jobs will come ahead in later sense. No, it's not that you can replace humans completely. Not at all. There is a number of human intervention we needed. So any jobs that we are trying to see in, the trend remains the same. We'll try to see a number of developments. We'll try to see a number of job openings as well. So I can start going into AI after my 12th. So I've told you the main skills that you need for AI is more about having uh, programming skills, having mathematical skills, having a number of critical knowledge or critical thinking as well. So you can just refer to our website iNurture.co.in, iNurture.co.in, wherein you'll try to get a number of insights to choose different specializations under different colleges that are available. So main thing, if you are trying to just start going ahead, we have displayed what all things that you'll be trying to learn under AI. So that will give you an entire overview of how you can start your journey towards AI. Next, Shamli is trying to ask me what are typical jobs related to AI. As I've told you, there are five main job roles that we are trying to see in terms of AI, being AI developer, AI architect, data scientist, data analyst, and or be it an AI developer or machine learning engineer. So all of these are the main five typical jobs that we are trying to see in terms of AI, which are highly related towards AI. So anywhere if you are trying to handle image, anywhere you are trying to handle video, anywhere if you are trying to handle different terms of games, anywhere if you are trying to handle different terms of data, wherein all of these jobs are completely related to AI itself. Let me take two or more questions from that and let me try to end my webinar on this. So, do I need to pursue science in 12th to join AI degree course? Absolutely yes. So, there are a certain number of prerequisites that we have for joining any AI degree course. So, be it engineering, be it MSc, be it BSc, be it BCom, we have be it BA. So, you can just refer to our website, iNurture.co.in, and whatever you want to pursue, you can just go ahead with that. And Sana is trying to ask me, will a diploma course in AI count if I want to pursue a career in AI? We have one stream under AI called PGDM, so Post Graduate Diploma in Management. So that also counts under AI itself. We have PGD in AI. Same thing, you can just refer to our website to get more insights on this. So with that, I'm trying to just end my session. So the last question, if I'm trying to ask you, can you tell us some of the latest inventions in AI market? I've already spoke about this. The entire latest inventions that we are trying to see in AI is very high. I already talked about this in the entire webinar. You can just go over that. And Ashish is trying to ask me, has COVID-19 affected the AI domain also? No, not at all. It has actually affected in a positive way. Yes, it has affected the AI domain in a positive way. Wherein any problem that we are trying to see, it's a positive notion for AI, be it any technology. So we are trying to just curb that different problem with a number of solutions ahead. So I've told you there are a lot of research being going on under AI. So any problem that comes in, it's always advantageous to AI itself. So IoT and AI already answered Pawni. Difference between IoT and AI already. If you are trying to like more of understanding more about internet or connecting devices to internet, you can go ahead and try to choose a number of IoT things. But still, AI acts as a main role even in IoT as well, trying to develop a number of intelligence for different devices. Any Indian company has AI patents, lot of AI patents. Even I myself have a patent with respect to AI as well. So there are a lot of Indian companies that have AI patents altogether. So as shown you under AI 100, from past 2 years we have seen artists, entrepreneurial scope in AI is very high. Yes, there are a lot of new things that are coming in. The scope is very high under AI field. So there are a lot of things that are going in. I've already talked about career growth in AI field. And even if you want more insight on that, you can just refer to our website, iNurture.co.in. You can just refer to that. You'll get more of insights about your career growth. Best companies for freshers. Any company that you are trying to choose in is the best company. Yeah. So which any company you can just go ahead with. There's no restriction in joining any company altogether. Sir, I know a person who got a basic salary of 12 lakhs in AI. You can just go ahead. I've already told you that. Is it possible that we have a large number of skills? Yeah, they might be possible. If some person holds a higher um, salary, it doesn't always mean that he has owning higher skills as well. Yeah, experience also counts a lot in trying to get 12 lakh salary as well. So you can go ahead with that. Yes. Not always that salary does define your skills. Not always. So website link. Uh, so it's already being shared here. Uh, for iNurture.co.in. So you can just see through our your Google. You can just type in. You try to get iNurture.co.in. INURTURE.co.in. You can just see through our website. You'll get a lot of insights with that. And Best in all, I'm trying to just end my session with this. Hope you all have enjoyed the session with a lot of different insights altogether under AI, what all different school of AI. You also understood what all different job roles under AI and what is salary you might be getting under AI as well. With that, I'm trying to end my session on this. Thank you so much. And any further queries that you want to have, you can just visit our website, iNurture.co.in, for further queries. Thanks all. Thanks everyone.